Hey guys, welcome to the Frackin' Friend Show. Today is a very special episode for me personally because I am bringing on someone that I've listened to for my entire life. And I also have a very special guest co-host, Miss Denise from Monday Cinema Club,
Hey,
Instagram,
y'all.
everything. You guys check her out. I've actually been able to watch a couple of her lives the last few weeks, and it is amazing watching her talking about films such as Pretty in Pink and different films like that. And they kind of go in depth with her and two other co-hosts, and it's a joy to watch. It really is.
Oh, thank you for the wonderful intro, Frack. Wow, I love that.
I try. It's going to be edited so much, me chopped up to make it sound like I didn't even, like it was just so perfect.
I love it. It's good.
And who do we have on, Mr. Denise? So who do we have on?
Oh my gosh, guys. We have a beautiful guest named Debi Derryberry, and she is the voice of Jimmy Neutron for all of you old school geeks out there, and many numerous other ones that I can't even count right now. But yeah. I'm stoked. Let's do it, man.
Let's bring her on. Woo!
The Hi, myth, guys. The legend.
Yes. I mean, to us, you know, growing up with you, Miss Debbie, was and is an absolute pleasure. You know, for me, of course, I think it even goes back before Jimmy Neutron. But, sure. You know, your character of Jimmy Neutron was just phenomenal. I mean, it was a show unlike any other at the time. The animation, the voice acting, the story, the movie. I mean, the movie was just, you know, I remember for Christmas waking up, I think I was, 10 years old, and I received the Jimmy Neutron toy. It was like a remote control and it had like a circle, and he was like riding on it, kind of like a motorbike. Oh, and I bet you have it, don't you?
No, there she goes, pulling it out.
I'm really short, but let's try it.
Don't hurt yourself getting it, Debbie.
Oh my goodness.
But wait, there's more. I'm taking on my cans. I'm not sure, but I think I have.
She keeps it in her studio, guys.
Wait, I can't hear you. I'm running in my studio, though. I'm coming out of my studio. And put on my cans again.
Guys, Debbie has the works right now.
Wow.
Goes in the chair. Yeah. There. I can bend him right. I think he has to be sitting.
Yes.
And then this goes up his patootie. Okay. There. There he goes.
Wow. Yes, that is a huge throwback. My heart is racing. Oh my goodness.
I wanted that so bad, and I'm so happy that you have that with you at all times, Debbie.
I have so many toys. I have boxes of Jimmy Neutron things, wigs, t-shirts, underwear, bowling balls, soup cans, cereal boxes, kites, all kinds of wonderful Jimmy Neutron toys. Yeah, no, if I died, my son would be like rich forever. Wow, stop it. He just pimps me out. Mom, sign this. You guys are going to talk a lot about this show. F is for Family. This is for Debbie, but I'm on this show called F is for Family. My stepdaughter daughter-in-law gave me this mug she made for me, which is pretty cool. It looks like the logo on F is for Family.
I love that so much.
Man. Tell us about your start in this industry, in general voice acting.
Gosh, you know, I didn't intend it to be like this. I was a pre-med. I was going to be a doctor at UCLA.
What?
I've been singing my whole life. I got my first guitar when I was 8 or 9, and I write songs, I sing, I play, I do harmonies. Harmonies are my thing.
Me too.
Love harmonies so much. That's why I have my band Honey Pig. Which I don't know if you've heard of any of my 3-part. It's like a 3-part female Andrew sister Dixie chick.
Oh my god!
I was about to say Dixie
this is amazing. How am I just finding this out? How am I just finding this out?
I have 3. Here's one of my Honey Pig Out CDs or coasters, better known as coasters.
This is insane.
Coasters.
I have 3 award-winning preschool albums that I even have like #1 hit on XM Sirius. So music is the thing. So I loved singing and busking all through college down in Westwood, which is the city around UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
And so I graduated, and I said, I'm not going to med school. I'm moving to Nashville. I'm going to be a country music star because that's what I want to do.
That's the dream right there, the country music life in Nashville.
And my parents were thrilled that I gave up going to med school to move to Nashville.
Wow.
Tickled pink.
Every parent's dream right there.
I'll tell you what. And they were like, Debbie, you can't make a living doing music or acting. It's not going to happen.
You won't make it.
It's just so hard. So, but I work hard at everything I do. So I couldn't get a job singing like a grown up, but they kept giving me session work, singing gigs as a child's voice. So I did a lot of radio and TV commercial voiceover things as a kid's voice.
Wow.
And you can't really see, but I'm tiny. I'm 4'10". I weigh almost 100 pounds. I'm the size of an 11-year-old boy. So I was doing stand-in work in Nashville in the forest for, you probably know this movie, Denise, Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Varney.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was doing stand-in work for the little boys. You remember, I don't know if you know Scotty Menville. He's another voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
His mom was in the forest, and I was in the forest doing stand-in work, which is it's like the extra work. You go and you stand in front of the camera while I set the lights and the camera.
Right.
Like, hurry, I gotta wait tables at 5. Scotty's mom said, Dottie Menville's like, Debbie, you should do voiceover. And I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
I had no clue. So she put me in touch with some casting directors, voice directors in Los Angeles, and I wrote them on my typewriter, my electric typewriter I took to the forest with me. Back in the day, it was very cool because it had backspace over your mistakes.
Hey.
So I backspaced over my mistakes, wrote a perfect letter to Jenny McSwain, Marcia Goodman, Sue Blue, Ken Burke.
Wow.
And they wrote back, and Ginny was like, great voice, but you got to live in LA. So, but I skipped the part where I was in a play there called To Kill a Mockingbird as Scout, the 12-year-old when I was 27. Anyway, they saw me in that play. They put me in Jim's TV show called Hey Vern, It's Ernest.
Yeah.
I played.
Oh my gosh!
Remember that? I was the boy clown. There was a family, like the mom and the mom was normal, and the father and the son were clowns. So I was dressed up. The beginning of my dressed up as a boy career. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. I was like, oh, Saturday morning show, like Pee Wee Herman kind of. So
yeah.
And the Screen Actors Guild, which it was just Screen Actors Guild then, it wasn't SAG-AFTRA. So I was in the union, and I started getting checks that were bigger than my waiting table checks. So I quit waiting tables and moved back home to LA.
That's the dream. You lived it.
And then Ginny McSwain held my hand and walked me right into ICM. I signed with Jeff Danis, my first voice agent, 30 plus years ago. And that was when I started auditioning and working. And who knew? I just followed the doors that opened,
Yeah. You actually took chances. And even though I'm sure it wasn't just your parents, I'm sure other people said, like, are you really doing the right thing? And
people don't care. Yeah. I mean, and that's okay. Everybody should care about themselves. So I worked hard on doing what was the best thing for me.
Definitely.
And you can't worry about what other people think.
No.
So I just kept doing my best at whatever was put in front of me. And that's how I have lived my life pretty much every day, doing what I think is right and good and helping the world and helping animals and people.
Yeah.
And not that I'm some saint or anything.
No, I mean, but those are such great words, Debbie, to live by. It's just like, kind of say yes to those opportunities because you don't know what doors are going to open and stuff with that. Right. And I've recently started living my life that way and already see a huge progression with what I want to do and how I want to move forward. So those are great words.
And instead of the fear that might accompany that those steps, it's exciting. And whenever, like, oh God, this happened, I have to move. That's cool. Yeah, it's a lot of work and it's a pain in the butt. If you see me doing something, I'm dusting my Jimmy Neutron. Change is hard, but change always opens the door for something else.
Debbie, did you end up having to eventually move, I'm assuming, from where you were after you wrote them and stuff, and you got letters back?
Yeah, they said you have to live in LA. So I quickly got divorced and moved back to Los Angeles.
Leave everything behind, including husband.
Well, and I kept the name, though. I kept, it was Debbie Greenberg, which I used Debbie Green instead of Debbie Greenberg because I was in Nashville and I just didn't know how that was going to go.
Right.
So it was a Debbie Green band. But and then I was Debi Derryberry when I got into the Screen Actors Guild. So when I moved back to Los Angeles and started booking cartoons as Debi Derryberry, it didn't really strike me. I always thought it was a goofy name, but then it was my name.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I'm Debi Derryberry, and that sounds like a cartoon. I will keep it.
Smart.
So I've been through a couple husbands since then, but I've kept the Derryberry.
The most important thing, right?
That is so cool, man. That is so
Sound
cool.
like a cartoon name to you, though?
It's an epic last name.
Yeah. It's one you can never forget. Like for me, I don't know a lot of people's names in animation or voice actors, but I surely know Debi Derryberry.
Nobody just says Debbie.
Nope, I've never said that. I'm sure no one would know who I'm talking about if I said, oh, I'm getting Debbie on the show.
Yeah.
But if you add that Derryberry, they're like, oh.
It's the winner. It's the moneymaker right there.
You guys, you're very flattering and very kind. And
thank you.
It's just been a wonderful journey. And I enjoy what I do, and the world has changed so much in VO that now this is my little world. I'm pointing to that door right there. That's my booth where I spend a lot of hours every day.
Wow. So can we kind of talk about that for a second? Like, when COVID happened, a lot changed for us, but also for the industries that are, worldwide. So kind of take us back, what happened when COVID hit and what was the options you were, given to continue voice acting?
Make a studio in your room.
I'm going to burp right now. Hold on. Okay. I usually announce it because I want
good.
When you're in a studio situation, you want the engineer to know when a burp is coming. Because I'm not one of the voice actors that can burp on cue. So many people can.
Oh.
I mean, Kavanaugh, the mom from Jimmy Neutron, could burp on cue. It's a skill. If you can do it, it goes on your resume. But I can't. I tell the engineer so he can record it, and then he takes them and puts them on a separate track if they need burps. You never know.
So I have to burp.
You go on, girl.
I can't.
And so wait, we were talking about changes. Well, before COVID, I was doing a lot of coaching. I'm still coaching, but so I built a door to the outside. I'm pointing to my outside, and my students could come in, and I would coach them in the booth here at home, so they could also learn mic technique and come out and see how to edit. And I would coach one-on-one here in the studio. My house is through that other door right there. And then COVID hit, so I bought stock in Zoom, and that was cool. I sold it, but I did do well. I started doing Zoom sessions, and then Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney realized we can't have actors in, but there are voice actors with booths. Could it really be good? So everybody figured it out by the seat of their pants super fast that you could connect with your directors on Zoom. There's something called Source Connect. There's also, StreamYard. There's ClearStream. There's all kinds of things that they figured out where they could just grab your feed, or VO actors run a backup recording So whenever I'm recording on a Source Connect or something, I still run a backup recording that I send to them in a full big fat WAV file.
That's nice.
And so, there was, it was hightail. Now it's WeTransfer. You can send it that way. You can send them a Dropbox link.
Wow.
So my floor is floated in there. Like the floor has rubber all around it. It's wrapped. The walls. It's the same as going into a Nickelodeon or Disney studio.
Sure.
It's got a TV screen in there. It's got a really amazing microphone. So I had it already when COVID hit. So I was able to do my sessions from home. And so VO, for me, got very busy. And there were a number of industries that got very busy and did well during COVID because they could do it from home. And VO is one of those. And what's happened now that COVID is getting under control, one of the things that happened is that we became very busy. And now that people are slowly returning to some studios, and I will go into a couple of studios like Mark Grau. I know everyone's vaccinated. They check your temperature. You're in the booth alone. The same for a number of studios. But I can record from home. But there's a few that I feel safe in.
Yeah.
And I will go there. But I think it's easier on the production companies now saying, oh, we can hire anyone from anywhere. Or it's quicker to have the actors at home because when they're done, you can hang up and you don't have to have them hanging around going, that was a great session. It was nice to see you guys. Bye. And they're like, bye. Click. And you're out of there. They start right away with the next session. So it's more efficient. It's cheaper. It's quicker. They don't have to pay for the studio time. Engineers can do it from their house. So I think it's going to carry over, as many things are, into the future, like Instacart. It's very easy for me to go grocery shopping now. Yeah, here's what I want, leave it on the porch. And it saves time. But just like when iPhones came out, when cell phones came out, which you guys won't remember because you're too young. But
stop. I remember those days.
And email, it changed the world because it used to be, if I drive down to the agency and do 3 auditions in a day, twice a week, 6 auditions a week. Well, now they can send me 10 a day and I can knock them out. So the world is moving much faster, much more is expected of you, and things are moving so much quicker than they were. And you probably notice in your own lives, that you get more emails or more messages on your social media. And people expect more from you quicker. You didn't respond in 10 seconds. Your mom texts you, what are you doing, honey? Honey? Things have changed, I think, permanently. And I like that better.
Me too.
But also we can work from anywhere, right? I mean, Frat, you just got to take your can of blue paint wherever you are.
I mean, you mean this blue paint?
You can take a picture of it and just use it as your virtual background.
I do agree with you, especially with the way the world has changed. And I find 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, this wouldn't be possible. Like people's schedules would be so hectic. And I've gotten about 52 interviews done in a year with celebrities, with anybody, like everybody that I couldn't have ever dreamed that I'd ever even speak to. Yeah. The original podcast that I was a part of, we started on March 20th, 2020, like the week everything shut down pretty much. And and people just thought, it was a crazy thing to start anything at that time because we were told it wasn't a good idea to invest into anything and just wait until the world opens back up again in 2 weeks. At that time, they were like, oh, it'd be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And, here I am today, still continuing what I love, 2+ years later. And thanks to this, thanks to StreamYard and Zoom and technology, it's just been a huge and amazing blessing to be able to do this and have people like yourself come and tell their stories. And even just sometimes it's just a conversation. And that's what I kind of focus on this being, is just friends talking, hanging out.
I feel like it opened a whole bunch of possibilities as well of what you can do. Like people, I feel like got so creative on how to be in these conversations over Zoom, over whatever video platform. But I think it's just nuts. People are so creative out there.
And I feel like it brought me closer to some people because of things like You Don't Know Jack, getting together with people and saying, we're going to have game night.
Yes.
And there's no TV and we're not doing anything. We're together, but we're not in person.
Yes.
And it's like getting together and playing games, only it's, not. And it's so much fun. So it has, good did come out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, a lot of people lost their lives. And
100%.
It changed so many things. But I think we need to look at what we learned from it and what good can come out of it going forward.
Everyone wants to hear about the controversy or the bad in today's world. And this is a podcast that's bringing the good, bringing the conversations and the natural and the realness of people,
Where is that? Let me grab this thing right here.
Yeah.
I love how she has everything on hand right now.
I know, in one room.
I'm coming back. Okay, now
a magic box.
I do this show on Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, called Tig Tone. I don't know if you've watched it.
Yes!
It's so much fun. It's sort of like Monty Python meets Roald Dahl.
So true.
But anyway, I play this character named Helpy, and this is what the show looks like. If there's not a picture of me there. But I play Helpy, this purple monster that he regenerates. So the hero, Tigtone, will always rip off Helpy's arms and use it as a sword, and then Helpy can grow it back. But I help. And so it's fun to be Helpy. I'm Helpy, and I help. So
Debbie, I just got into that show. I'm not joking you, maybe a week ago, and I would never expect. Oh my gosh, this is amazing!
It's a brilliant
show for sure.
Ben Martian and Andrew Kohler, they just blew it out of the water, and it's too bad we're done with the show. But I wish they'd do more. Maybe a movie. Everybody go watch Take Time.
It's a smart show. It's just really smartly funny.
And it's so stupid. It's an adult show, by the way. It's a lot of blood. It's like Game of Thrones, cartoon, Monty Python-ish.
Yeah, it's like my everything when it comes to what I'm looking down for a movie or a show right there. That description.
And they're short. They're really short episodes, but hilarious and stupid, like the wine pirates stealing the vineyard, taking the wine into the sky, and the children are going, I need my wine. It's so funny.
Wow. I haven't seen Cartoon Network in years, but I did hear some amazing things in the last, I guess, year or two, that they're bringing back the good stuff again, like to Cartoon Network, period.
Well, I think it's on Hulu now, Tigtone.
Oh, really?
You can go Huluize it.
I will definitely go Hulu it tonight. But that's the kind of things I dig, though. I'm a huge Monty Python fan, and of course, Game of Thrones is. Wow.
Oh, here's a story. Did you watch Game of Thrones, Denise?
I some of them, but it's okay if you spoil
it. Season 5.
Remember, I'm not spoiling it, but there's some warriors called Dothrakis.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And there's a language, Dothraki, which was written for the show by, I think his name's David White. And it's similar to, in Star Trek, what do you call that language?
Vulcan.
Vulcan, thank you.
Yeah.
So David wrote this for Game of Thrones, and then I did this movie called maybe you know this one, Christmas Chronicles, with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah. Oh, yes, on Netflix.
Yeah, there's 2 years.
There's a sequel, yeah.
But it's like Santa and his elves. Well, they hired the Dothraki language writer to write Elvish for this movie. So when we auditioned for it, and I was Fleck and Speck, 2 of the elves. In fact, I was a float in the Macy's Day Parade. What? Second time, Jimmy Neutron was the first float. And then my elf in Christmas Chronicles was the second. I've been 2 floats in the Macy's Day Parade. I'm digressing. Hold on. I want to get back to the language. We had to learn Elfish for, not learn it, but they would give us this transliteration so that when the elves spoke, they would have little translations at the bottom, and it'd be like, "Is from is close enough."
That is so cool.
Go back and watch Christmas Chronicles 2, and it's me. The entire first 3 or 4 minutes of the movie is just me, this elf, like going, "Oh, that's just what he
Sounds a little like Ewok, too.
The Ewoks, huh? Yeah.
Yes. Only it's a specific language, and if we didn't get it right, we would go back and they would tell us, "Fix it.
Enunciate this better."
Not quite right. That. You put it's like this, the lilt goes like this.
Wow.
Kind of Norwegian.
Wild, dude.
Wow, Miss
All
Debbie.
these things you're learning.
Yeah, I mean, like we said in the beginning, we don't know everything, and we surely didn't know any of this. This is incredible. It's incredible. Even, we know something of you from the year 2000. Like, that was, 20 plus years ago.
Right.
And it's so amazing hearing you continue working, learning Elvish, and this, wow, it is incredible just to see you continue. And
it's fun. And I keep trying to talk like grown-ups, but
no, don't ever change, Debbie. Don't ever change.
Monsters, elves, foxes, mushrooms, babies, like F is for Family. I played Maureen, she's like 9, Bridget, she's 10,
wow,
he's like 7, Philip, all the babies for season 5, which is like, when you hear them, I don't know if you watched F is for Family. But,
no, where can we find it?
On Netflix.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm going to take up my cans and show you.
Yeah.
Quilt.
Oh, yeah.
Family quilt. There it is. Yeah.
Oh, I know this show.
It's Bill Burr's show. You know Bill Burr? He's a stand-up comedian. And here's the show.
Wow.
How great my mug. Ideas for Debbie.
This is so cute.
So this show, it's really not. It's raunchy and nasty, and and don't let your children watch it at all, ever. I'm backwards. I'm trying to do everything backwards. Okay, there. Anyway, Laura Dern, who's Laura Dern,
amazing.
She plays my mom, and Sam Rockwell's in it, and Bill Burr, who's very funny, plays the star, my dad, and I play all the children, and I do this one character, Bridget, she just curses. She's a 10-year-old who says, "I'm gonna grab your dad's beep beep and smash you over the beeping head with it, and then shove it up your beep beep." But they leave the words in there.
That's got to be one of your favorites, just because you can curse all the time with it.
Maybe.
That's amazing, though. It's amazing how your career has just expanded. That's one thing I do want to ask you about, streaming platforms. Mm-hmm. They've given, I think, a lot of people more opportunities, like Netflix. Every week they're like, oh, okay, we're releasing 72 movies, 1 or 3, 5 new originals. So what did that change for you when it came down to your career?
Income.
Yeah.
It's a lot less for streaming because you no longer get residuals that are network residuals. You get, this is more than I need to say on this show, but it's
interesting.
They give you money for electronic sell-throughs and digital downloads, and in the SAG contract for a network show, you get 2 voices and a 10% bump for a third. But in a streaming show, when you're hired on contract for that, it's a set fee. They can use you for 7, 8, 9, 10 voices, 1 fee. So in any job out there, harder work, less money. But that's not just VO. I'm not saying poor me.
No.
It's still great. I still love it, and it's still good money, and I still love what I do. But there is a difference. That's the difference that I notice. But it's also more fun because I get to do so many different voices. They're like, what can we throw at Debbie this week?
Debbie, you want to do the dog?
which I've done 2 series where all I do is bark.
Oh my goodness! Come on now.
Oswald the Octopus.
Yes.
Of course.
I was Weenie the dog in
Yeah.
that.
Weenie.
I couldn't even tell.
And then I've had 3 series where I'm just meowing, like Sailor Moon, Crystal. I'm Diana the cat, or
yes,
like
indeed.
Ryo Oki from Tenchi Muyo. I'm that bunny cat thing. Anyway, I just do interesting jobs, and it's always fun and different.
You're an interesting person, Miss Debbie. You really are.
Oh, here's something else I wanted to tell you. In my band, Honey Pig, we wrote a song called Laura's Loss about this car, and the song ended up on a show called Click and Clack. So that reminds me of Frick and Frack.
Oh, see, most people will say, I came on the show because I really like the name, you know, especially whenever I'd done the Frick and Frack show. And I started this new show just because my co-host wanted to pursue other things. And I said, well, you can't have the Frick and Frack show, you know, with just Frack. So I went ahead and just created the Frack and Friends show as a spinoff, and just continued the same premise, continued everything, you know, and I've gotten a lot of guests that say, I just love the name Frack. You know, I just love the name Frack. And that's why I wanted to come on here. I said, oh, that's great.
Anything to get you in. That's how you pull people in.
Yep. And, you know, that's another example of how these changes, I mean, Flick had to pursue his thing, and that's good because look at what it opened for you. You could have Frack's Flicks now.
I can get you on. Denise, do you have anything you want to say?
Oh my gosh, Debbie, I'm just such a huge fan, and I'm a kid of the 90s, so I know you best from like Real Monsters and Toy Story, all that goodness. So I just want to say thank you for, you know, your work and stuff. Like seeing Dee Bradley Baker do like their things is just such an inspiration for you know, people like me who want to get into this industry, and learning so much from you, even in this conversation, has been a blessing. I'm writing it down right now, Debbie. I'm writing it down right now.
And
she really does.
The Dee's website, I want to be a voiceactor.com.
I've been to Dee's website, and it is amazing too.
Everything. He's everything that he purports to a voice actor to be. I can't say enough about Dee Bradley Baker.
He is a legend. If
you're listening, I love you.
He's a legend.
He lives we all live like down the street. Everybody lives
so
right
cool, man. Let me live in your house, in that studio back there.
She'll take the studio.
I'll take the
Everybody
studio.
lives here.
Yes.
You guys you're awesome, and I love being on your show, and thank you. I want you to be sure to tell people to go to, there's this ridiculous, I have TikTok, and I don't know how I passed 1 million followers.
Hey!
But people want to see my TikTok, so go follow at Debi Derryberry on TikTok, and it's at Debi Derryberry, and you'll spell it for everybody. But
yes, ma'am.
I notice up there you have the B capitalized. It's a little B like strawberry.
Oh, that's okay. I'll fix that for you.
You are so cute.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, you can follow me on YouTube and you know, TikTok and Insta and Twitter, all at Debi Derryberry. And then if you want to do the music thing, it's just Honey Pig Music.
Not a problem at all. You know, I'm happy to promote anything and everything for our guests. And, you know, we love you, Miss Debbie. I just think, you know, growing up and finally have the ability and, you know, opportunity to speak to you 20 plus years later and it's way more than 20, but like, you know, like you just said, Sailor Moon. Oh my goodness. That was a show.
It's oh, that's just awesome. Thanks so much. I'll be in the candy bar.
Oh my God. So, okay, this is going to be the last thing I want to ask you, but do you ever think that Nickelodeon would ever bring back Jimmy Neutron? They're bringing back everything else. I mean, you don't have to tell me. You can just blink twice. But they're bringing back everything else in the industry that we all loved as kids.
I will tell you, it's always possible, and I'm hoping.
Us too.
But I don't have any information on anything solid to tell you yet. But when I do,
wink.
I will put it all over my media for sure. And
that's right.
Nothing would make me happier.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for tuning in. We really appreciate you just sitting down with us and telling us these stories.
Yeah, Debbie, it was a real honor. I can't believe I'm privileged enough to actually meet you. So thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Good to meet you, and good to meet you, Brack, and good luck with everything, you guys.
Oh my gosh, you as well. You as well.